I know that the topic of this video likely seems sacrilegious to many of you. Like, this is the last thing we need right now. Right, Grace? But please, give me a chance here. Hear me out. And I think that by the end of this video, you'll agree with me that a new Luke, Leia, and Han movie is actually the way to go when it comes to saving Star Wars. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so let's, the place I want to start is that yesterday, because I have some information to share with you, which is going to make you understand that we're probably going down this path anyway, so we might as well make it work. So yesterday, Lucasfilm announced a Boba Fett movie is in the works, right? Along with the already in the works Obi-Wan movie. When these will actually see the light of day, who knows? But they have moved forward. Now, a friend of mine has revealed from an inside source that they know at Lucasfilm that they are also developing a Princess Leia and the Rebels movie. How's that for a nifty title, right? Like, when you think of a new Princess Leia movie, you're like, yuck. I mean, talk about sacrilegious. But when you hear that title, Princess Leia and the Rebels, you're like, ooh, I don't know if I can resist that, right? And so I thought it would be fun to cast Princess Leia. I've known about this for a couple of months now, actually. And so I thought when Solo came out, it would be a perfect tie-in video to cast Leia, Princess Leia. And I know that she's a general these days, but I think Princess Leia has just a more iconic feel to it. Don't you agree? Plus, she is a Disney princess now, so two mega brands joined together as one. But, you know, I was so taken with Alden Ehrenreich's performance in Solo. I mean, for all my problems with the movie, to me, he is the new Han, and I like him and Chewie quite a bit. I would love, as I said in my reviews, to continue with them. And let's be honest, right? Love of the original trio is what continues to drive interest in this franchise. Not any of the new characters. Truth bomb! Let's embrace it, right? So let's cast Luke Skywalker too, because I feel just like Superman, there's a very large fandom. Ka-ching! Money is Disney's language, right? But I think there's a very large fandom eager to see both nice guys respectfully portrayed as the powerhouses that they are. As I said in my Justice League coverage, it made a huge impression on me seeing because I saw it once as a press screening, but then also once with general audiences. And the audience reaction when Superman let loose and was portrayed in all his glory, it was something incredible. And I think that, you know, to see that with Luke would be equally welcome. I'd even like to see it. And I'm more of a Han fan than a Luke fan. Although, seeing Luke Skywalker in full Jedi mode, right, is something that I actually would be interested in seeing. It's something that I think we felt we would get in Last Jedi and didn't, and I think that's one of the reasons there was such a backlash to Last Jedi. Also, as I've said many times, if they had just let Luke, cut loose, I think, hardcore fans would have forgiven The Last Jedi for its other flaws. And when you hear my casting or my recasting choices, I think you'll agree that these characters can be brought back. Ewan McGregor made Obi-Wan his own. Alden Ehrenreich has made Han his own. I feel very strongly about that, and as more and more of you come out of the theater, you're letting me know that you agree with me on that. And there have been tons of James Bonds, many of them quite good. Connery or Craig, you don't have to choose. Wouldn't it be great to see Luke, Leia, and Han in their prime again? Action scenes galore, right? Before their lives were ruined by Kathleen Kennedy. Yes, she was not kind to them in their twilight years. But she can make it up to them, right? And as I said in my Boba Fett coverage yesterday, why keep splitting these characters up? Why do we need a Han movie and a Leia movie and potentially a Luke movie? Put them all in the same movie after Return of the Jedi. Isn't this starting to sound like something you'd want to see? So now when it comes to recasting Luke and Leia, I'm looking for actors that have the same qualities as Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill, who, by the way, were two, I think, pretty unique. You got to hand it to old George. They were very interesting casting choices for the movie, and I think all three actors, Harrison Ford being the third, contributed a lot to the original trilogy's appeal. But I don't want exact duplicates, just like Alden Ehrenreich isn't an exact duplicate of Harrison Ford. Again, think Connery versus Craig. They're both definitely playing the same gentleman spy, but they also both bring something unique to their depictions, just like Harrison Ford and Alden Ehrenreich. And while I'm sure many of you are typing right now, well, that's easy, cast Fisher's daughter, Billie Lourd. Well, I think it's important to respectfully establish Princess Leia as a character that stands on her own and move her out of the impressive shadow of Carrie Fisher. So for Princess Leia, this is who I've got. I'm saving Luke for last because I really like those choices. All right, so first, the Queen of Gifts, Ilana Glazer, who is a comedian like Fisher with a similar brand of brassy feminist humor. I think she would deliver zingers that'd make Fisher proud. Next, as much as it pains me to say it because I think she's a little annoying, Haley Steinfeld. She looks a bit more like Fisher, and she also shares Fisher's showboating tendencies. She wasn't as nuanced as Fisher. I don't think Fisher was ever annoying like Haley Steinfeld, but they can work on that with her. And she's also proven to be very smart and funny. And then there's the very charming and talented Maika Monroe. She has a similar look to Fisher too, but she's a more traditional actress. But she can be spunky, and she would definitely fit the princess bill. Although I think one of the most interesting qualities about Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia was that she was an unusual choice for, a quote-unquote princess, which was what made her so vibrant. So that's why I would drop Maika Monroe in a flash if she and her boyfriend, Joe Keery, right, don't want to play brother and sister, because he's one of my choices for Mr. Luke Skywalker. And he's a better fit than Maika, again, is for Leia. Although, it would help the weird incestuous vibe that George gave the characters. George, how did you get away with that? That's crazy. It's like, oh, it's innocent incestuous vibes. And you're like, I guess it's crazy, actually. It's interesting. It's a little bit like sometimes the things that Marvel's allowed to get away with. It's really crazy. Now, of course, though, the top choice for Luke Skywalker is Sebastian Stan, right? I'm sure many of you have already written that down below. I mean, he works for Disney, and he and Mark Hamill have already had a lot of fun on social media acknowledging how much they look alike. Really, who wouldn't want to see Sebastian Stan bring this to life in a way, tragically, that we have never gotten to see? That's just unbelievable. I mean, it's a freaking tragedy. It should be number one, even maybe above an Obi-Wan movie, or something that Kathleen Kennedy needs to do. Then, I also like Bill Skarsgård for Luke Skywalker. I mean, think about this. Mark Hamill is also the Joker, and Billy Skarsgård is also Pennywise. It's downright poetic. So, wow, right? Wouldn't you love to pick up where we left off with Luke, Leia, and Han, literally at a party? That might be just the ticket to make Star Wars great again. Think the Bond movies. How for decades they've stayed in the same space. You don't need to move the story forward to think about it didn't work with Indiana Jones with Indy's kid, right? We don't need to see their descendants. Let's just keep telling these stories with the adventure simply continuing. I think, and what excites it is new stories with great action set pieces, new worlds to discover, and really charismatic actors playing this original trio. I think that might be actually the ticket. That might be what they should potentially consider doing. So what do you think? Share your thoughts down below, not just about my casting choices, but also the idea of continuing with Luke, Leia, and Han in their prime together in the same movie. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now, including my Boba Fett coverage.